On this video, I would like to continue what I have been doing. I've taken a break from it, doing other things, but I'd like to pick it up, and that is Mark chapter 5, verses 1 to 10, reading the Greek text, and then looking at the grammar inductively along with a brief commentary. We're at the point in Mark, where Mark is presenting the miracles of Jesus. Following the parables of the growing seed and the mustard seed, he now, after calming the storm, Mark records the miracle of the healing of the demoniac at the Gerasene demoniac. And so I pick it up in verse 1 of chapter 5. Kaeothan eis ta peran tes thalases eis tein koran ton Gerasenon. And when he came unto the other side of the sea, into the region of, or he came into the region of the Gerasene. Eothon is your, or when I should say they came, Eothon is the aorist indicative active, third person plural from erkamai. So when they came unto the other side of the sea, unto the Gerasenes, kai exelthantas autu ectu ploiu euthus, hupantesin auto, ekton mnemeon anthropos in pneumati akatharto. That is, and when he came out of the boat, immediately there one met him out of the tombs, or a man met him out of the tombs with an impure or an unclean spirit. And coming out of the boat, exathantas is from exergamai, to come out. We have here an aorist participle genitive singular from exergamai with autu. And when he came out of the boat, immediately a man met him out of the tombs. Who paintesin is from hupantao, to meet. It is the aorist indicative active third person singular from hupantao. Met him out of the tombs. There was a man with an unclean spirit. So we're seeing a demon possessed man coming to meet Christ. And Mark is going to show his authority now over the demonic realm. Has tain katoi kesin ekain in tois nes menemasin kai ude aluse uketi udes edunata autan desai. And that reads who, relative pronoun, speaking of the demonized man, was having the dwelling in the tombs, dwelling out in the graveyard. And that's where often demoniacs were said to be and dwell. And ekan is from echo, your imperfect indicative active third person singular from echo. So he was having the dwelling in the tombs, and no one with a chain no longer was able to bind him. Aluse is from alusis, it means chain. And so no one was able, adunata was being able, is your imperfect indicative passive from dunamai. So no one was being able to bind him. Desai is from deo. It is the aorist infinitive, active infinitive from deo. So They tried to bind him, but even chains, they were not able to bind him. Dia ta autan, palakis, pedais kai alusasin, dedestai, kai diaspastai, hup autu, tas haluses, kai tas pedas sun tetrifthai, kai udes iskuan autan damasai. So because he often, because often with the feet changed and changed, to have been bound and to have uh, to have torn apart by him, to have been torn apart by him. That is the chains and the feet chains, and to have been shattered, and no one was able to tame him. Notice here, because he often, pedais means feet chains, and alusisin, and with chains, to have been bound. Didestai is your perfect passive infinitive from deo, to have been bound, and diaspastai is from dia spao, to tear apart, and to have been torn apart by him. Here we have another perfect passive infinitive. We have two perfect passive infinitives. Lelustai would be the luo pattern, to have been bound and to have been torn apart. That is the change, and the feet change, then to have been shattered. In other words, he would shatter it. Here we have another perfect passive infinitive, sun tetrifthai, from sun tribo, to shatter. By the way, we have three perfect passive infinitives here. Notice we have dedastai, diaspastai, and sun tetrifthai. Three passive, perfect passive infinitives. So no one was able to tame him. And here Damasai, kai udes iskuan autan, Damasai. Damasai is your aorist infinitive, active infinitive from damazo. So no one was able to tame him. And throughout every night, through every night and day, kai dia pantas nuktas, kai chimeras, entois mne masin, kai entois arasin, ein kurazon, kai katakopton, het auton lithois. And through every night, throughout every night and day, in the tombs and in the mountain areas, he was crying and cutting himself with stones. Ein gradzon is a paraphrastic phrase here. Ein is your imperfect indicative active third person singular from me. He was crying. Gradzon is your present participle nominative masculine singular from kradzo. So here we have that paraphrastic instruction or construction. So he was crying and he was cutting himself. Katakopton is from katakopto, to cut oneself to pieces. And so he was cutting himself, like destroying his body, cutting himself to pieces with the stones. And this again was because of the demonic activity that was going on. Kai idon tan Yesun apamekraten edramen kai prasekunesen al to. And when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him. Idon is from charao. It's the aorist participle nominative masculine singular from charao. So when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran. Edramen is from treko, to run. It is your aorist indicative active third person singular from treko. He ran and he worshiped before him. Literally, he knelt down on his knee. We're not looking at worship in the sense that we would think of worship, but recognizing his authority. And so prasekunesen is from kuneo. It is the aorist indicative active third person singular from proskuneo. So he fell to his knee, recognizing his authority. Kai kraxas phone magale lege tiamoi kai soy. Yesu huia tu theu tu hupistu orkidzo se tan thean me basinese. In other words, when he cried with a great voice, he says, literally, what to me and to you? What do we have to do with each other? Is the thought. Jesus, Son of the Most High, I adjure you, by God, do not torment me. Do not torture me. And when he cried out, kra sax is from kradzo. It's the aorist participle nominative masculine singular from kradzo. When he cried out with a great voice, he says, lege is from lego, present indicative active third person singular. What to me and to you? Notice amoi here is your dative, first person personal pronoun, and soy is your second person personal pronoun in the dative. So what do we have to do with each other is the thought. Jesus, Son of the Most High, I adjure you. Orkidzo is from orkidzo, present indicative active first person singular. I am adjuring you by God, do not torment me. Basinisse is from basinidzo. It is the aorist subjunctive second person singular from basinidzo. So do not torment me or do not torture me. And then in verse 8 it continues, Elegen gar auto excelthe tanuma ta akatartan ek tu anthropu. And he was saying to him, come out, unclean spirit, out of the man. Notice elegen is your imperfect indicative active third person singular from lego. So he was saying, come out. Excelthe is from exercamai. It's the aorist imperative second person singular. Come out. And then he addresses the unclean spirit out of the man. Kai, and then in verse 9, Kai e perota autan te anima soy, Kai lege auto, legion anima soy, hate paloi esmin. And he was asking him, what is your name? And he says to him, Legion is my name because we are many. Eperota is from the verb to ask, which would be epirotao. He was asking him. Here we have an imperfect indicative active, um, third person singular from epirotao. That is, he was asking him. That is, Jesus was asking the unclean spirit, "What is your name?" And he says to him, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Notice Esmin, Legion anomasoi chati paloi esmin. Esmin is your present indicative active third person singular from Amy. And Legion here means, when you look at the Greek word, it refers to about 6,000 men in a Roman unit of a Roman army. And so think about that, 6,000. In other words, we're many. And this is mind boggling to think that this man was indwelt by 6,000 demonic spirits. And what I think the text is showing is the authority of Jesus over demons. And I'm reminded, greater is he that is in us now, and that is the Holy Spirit, than he that is in the world, that is Satan. And so we're seeing the authority of Jesus over demons. Mark is showing us here. Kai parekale autan, palacheneme auta apostele exotes koras. And he was exhorting him many times, or very much, in order that he might not send them outside the region. Parekale is your imperfect indicative active third person singular from parakaleo. He was exhorting him much, pala, in order that he might not send them outside the region. Notice apostele is the aorist subjunctive, third person singular from apostello. And the henna here is introducing the subjunctive. So what I see Mark doing in this text is showing the greatness of Jesus Christ, who has power over demons. And he's showing all the way through here the miracles that Jesus has done. And we'll see how he allows the demons to go into the swine and they will run over a cliff. And then we'll see the continued healing ministry of Jesus in this wonderful gospel Mark. So I'm going to stop there and we'll continue to work through the text.